Assalamu alaikum. Now we are starting the second portion of our course of Basic Statistics 2, Sampling. So we have completed the first portion, that is probability, and now we are going to start the second portion, which is sampling and sampling theory. So what we are going to study in this portion, we will study sampling theory, the theory related to sampling, then sampling distribution for mean, sampling distribution for difference between means, and sampling distribution of proportion. Now coming to the topic, sampling. What is sampling? The sampling is simply the process of selecting a sample from a population, or the process of selecting a small part from a large group of data is called sampling. This diagram will make you more clear that if this circle, big circle, is the population. Population is actually the larger group of data, the whole group or the aggregate of all the individual which are of interest. And what is sample? Sample is just a small part taken from that population, which is the part of the population and which represents the population. So I think from this diagram it will be more clear to you. Now why we have to do sampling, or why sampling is done. Number one, to provide sufficient information about the characteristics of population without examining every unit of the population. So, sampling can provide sufficient information about the population without examining each and every unit of the population. And the second purpose is to find the reliability of estimates derived from the sample. What are estimates? We will just study it in this chapter. Now, advantages of sampling. Sampling saves money. How sampling saves money? Because when you take the information from the whole population, or when you apply the census, so it will take more, it will need more resources, and of course money will be needed. So if you take small part, or some of the information, so you will save your money. Then next is sampling save a lot of time and energy. So similarly, as you save your money, you can save the time and energy, because if you have 1,000 students in a college, so it is difficult to take information from each and every student. But if you take 100 students or 20 students, and then you take your then you ask them your required questions, or you take in your required information from them, then you will save your time and as well as your energy. Then third is sampling provide information that is almost as accurate as that is obtained from a complete census, because sample is a part of a population, so it will give as accurate information as the population will give. So sampling make it possible to obtain more detailed information from each unit of the sample, because when you are using a sample instead of population, so you save your time, you save your energy, and you have got enough energy and enough time to obtain the detailed information from each and every object of the sample. Then sampling is essential to obtaining the data when measurement process process physical damage or destroys the sampling units under investigation. So sampling is essential because it is the only way to collect the information when the physical damage will appear. Now, how physical damage will appear? If you are testing some, if in tube light company, a company which is manufacturing the tube light, so if you have seen that on the tube lights it is written that up to such and such volt this tube light can work. So if you give them more volts or less volts, it will be damaged physically, it will be damaged. So um, or you have some bulb and you are testing you are applying some test on it, so it can damage. So for that, in that case where physical damage is concerned, so sampling is only the way to obtain the data or to obtain the information. Then sampling may be only means available for obtaining the needed information when the population appears to be infinite or inaccessible. Now, when population, you cannot access the whole population, or the population is infinite. So, and you need to get some information for the uh, for that specific thing. For example, in mountainous areas, there are trees. So now in this forest area, it is impossible to get the information or to record the width or height of each and every tree there. So some of the trees or some of the area is selected as a sample, and then information is collected from that sample. So this is the example for inaccessible or infinite information. Then uh, sampling has much smaller non-response, follow up of which is much easier. Now, non-response means if you are collecting some information from the human population, so if you have enough time and enough energy, so you can give time to each of the respondent, and also all the respondent will respond you, and it would be much smaller non-respond, because if you are using the census, so you don't have the time, you have to collect the data in a specific time. So you cannot, for example, if you are taking information from 200 people, so and you have just 1 hour, so it is very difficult for you, or if you ask some questions and if anyone is not willing to give you answer, you cannot do anything. But if you are taking information from 10 people and in 1 hour, so you can explain your purpose of collecting data, and then you will get no non-response, or you will get smaller non-response there. Now, types of sampling. Sampling have broadly two types: probability sampling and non-probability sampling. Now, what is probability sampling? When each unit in a population has a known non-zero probability of its being included in a sample, the sampling is called probability sampling. It is also called random sampling, as each sampling unit is selected randomly. Now, in simple words, what is probability sampling? Probability sampling, each sampling unit is actually the unit of the population or the elements of the population that can be selected as a sample. So they are called sampling unit. Now each sampling unit is selected randomly. Randomly means that each and every unit has equal chance of being selected as a sample. There is no personal judgment or there is no personal choice there. Every item is equal and can be selected as a sample. So in this situation, or the sampling done in this situation, is called probability sampling or random sampling. Then um, types of probability sampling. Now probability sampling has again some types: simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, systematic sampling, and cluster sampling. We are just going to study this first one because in your course just simple random sampling is included. Now, a non-probability sampling. Non-probability sampling, also called non-random sampling, is a process in which the personal judgment determines which unit of the population are selected for a sample. Now, in probability sampling, there was no personal judgment. The samples were selected randomly. But in non-probability sampling, the samples are selected by personal judgment or personal interest. Now, types of non-probability sampling are purposive sampling and quota sampling. As I have told you before that we are just going to study simple random sampling because it is included in your course. So a sample is defined to be a simple random sample, or we can write it as SRS, if it is selected in such a manner. Now there are two conditions or two properties in which a simple random sample is selected. Okay. Each unit in the population has an equal probability of being included in a sample. Because simple random sampling is a type of probability sampling, so I have told you before that in probability sampling, every unit has equal probability or equal chance. So now um, a simple random sample is a sample in which each unit in a population has equal probability of being included in a sample. And then second one is each possible sample of same size has an equal probability of being the sample selected. Now in first part the unit was discussed and in the second part the sample was discussed. Otherwise these two sentences are have same meaning. Now, we have two very important terms, parameter and statistic, which we are going to use in this topic. So, what is parameter? A numerical quantity computed from the population values is called parameter. Here I have discussed in this diagram that population, this is population and this is sample which is taken from this population. So if you measure anything, any numerical value, if you calculate any numerical value from by using all of the population values, then it will called, the quantity will be called parameter. And if you just use the information in the sample and you calculate, for example you calculate mean or you calculate variance or standard deviation, so it will be generally called statistic. So this is the main difference between parameter and statistic. What is statistic? The numerical quantity computed from a value of sample, the values of sample is called statistic. Now, it is not here S is not written. So, this is if in this word statistic S is written at the end, this means the subject. It will be the subject, but here S is not written. So if S is not written at the end, this will give this meaning this will become the numerical quantity which will be computed from the values of sample. So this is be very careful here, because statistics is the subject, but statistic is a numerical quantity which is computed from the values of sample. Thank you. And this is all for today.